Once again, Senua was engulfed in darkness, lost in a maze of misery and confusion. Until Dillion's voice led her to the promise of victory. A sword that could kill a god.
With every passing year since Senua's Saga Hellblade II didn't in fact come out, my interest has waned a little more. Initially I was really hyped to play, but I ended up becoming frustrated that we never got any kind of release date. Now, 5 years after it was first announced, Ninja Theory's follow-up is finally here. Xbox has few standout titles on the Series X and S, and it feels like everyone is waiting for the next one to be the one. And while this one isn't bad by any means, it doesn't quite hit the heights of the original. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot going for it, but some puzzles are lacking, the movement is slow at times, and the end left me feeling, well, a little bit empty. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice was all about Senua finding herself, coming to terms with who she is, and accepting that the voices in her head are a part of her. It was a journey of self-discovery where she saved herself, whereas Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is all about saving others. Without giving too much away, the game sees Senua travelling across 10th century Iceland in an attempt to help those punished by violent, cruel Norsemen and slaying giants who haunt the land with their terrifying stature and cruel intentions. The story is a little bit muddied and doesn't always explain itself, with certain aspects not always making sense or hitting from left field without much warning. There's no clear journey or even end goal until near the climax, and even when you get there, it all just kind of stops rather abruptly. It's still filled with some utterly breathtaking moments though, where its visuals blow you away, and when the phenomenal acting lands at the same time, the narrative hits on multiple levels. Senua is an excellent character, tormented by her past and constantly struggling with her furies, which is what she calls the voices in her head. Although there's an interesting dynamic this time round. These voices almost respect her at times and, dare I say it, love her. Occasionally they snap at her reasoning and her emotional reactions to certain situations, but they feel different this time. Some of the other characters, like Thorgestr, one of the aforementioned Norsemen, have great character arcs. It warms the heart seeing Senua make some friends, whether talking to Fagramir, the wise voice by her side, or the fierce yet kind warrior known as Astriel. There are plenty of moments where it becomes thoroughly enjoyable, often involving the meetings Senua has with these giants. Not all giants are evil, but like Senua, they suffer with memories of the past. Ninja Theory has always dealt well with mental health regarding Senua herself, but there are other themes they handle with such care you can't help but respect them for it. It's in the more personable moments where it's at its best, and while the overall story isn't its best feature, the dialogue, acting and interactions throughout are excellent. When it comes to the gameplay, it doesn't feel like an awful lot has changed from the previous game other than the combat. It feels more streamlined yet satisfying, and like every element of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, the incredible visuals enhance how you play. For example, Senua can use light and strong attacks and can dodge as well as parry. The difference between this and many other games is that certain cutscenes blend seamlessly with the combat and make each fight feel different. You can use focus to slow down combat after successfully landing strikes or parrying. These need to be used strategically, as some enemies, especially the gruesome and terrifying Draugr, have a variety of dangerous and violent attacks. Some brutes use hand axe to swing at you with force, others hold shields that take a while to penetrate, and the worst are the fire breathers who always find a way to burn you to the ground. It can feel repetitive, but combat is fairly sparse, so when you do get into a fight it feels important. There are also a variety of puzzles to solve, and while they're well designed for the most part, some become more of a chore. In fact, the puzzles were probably my main bugbear in Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. While they are admittedly quite clever, sometimes there seems to be a lot of them in quick succession that breaks the pace quite a lot. The game starts to implement the ability to focus on floating globes to change the environment, which removes walls or obstacles, or alternatively adds parts of the world that weren't there before. And the rune puzzles are very smart, but I'd rather they were quicker to solve. And the puzzles aren't the only element that hampers the pace. You spend a lot of time walking around, following other characters while talking. While I don't mind doing it a few times through the game, it feels like you have to do it too much. I think the purpose is to obviously build narrative, but you're also getting to admire the photorealistic settings at the same time, so maybe we shouldn't complain too much. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 looks amazing in every sense, and both environments and character animations will leave your jaw on the floor. The dreamlight sequences are just as good as they were before, and the Icelandic scenery is gorgeous, not to mention the scale of the giants and the intense battles, which are superbly animated. There's an excellent video game inside Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, but it doesn't always show through. Yes, it looks phenomenal and it has some incredibly brutal combat and the acting is very good, but it's also so slow at times, broken up by laborious puzzles and long periods of walking and talking. It has an ending that might fail to satisfy, yet despite these issues, there is a lot that Ninja Theory gets right in the sequel, and if you've been looking forward to playing it as long as I have, you're unlikely to be disappointed. But today I'm going to score Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 a 7.5 out of 10. Hi there, hope you enjoyed Chris White's review of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 on PC and Xbox. If you did, please hit like and subscribe, maybe tag the bell icon too, so you're kept up to date with everything we post going forward. In the meantime, that was Chris White's review. I've been Mick Fraser and you guys have been lovely. Bye.